Welcome to the data science with R. So in this today we will look at unit 6, that is Naive and Bayesian theorem. So to look into the outline part of naive Bayes and Bayesian, we will work with naive Bayes, Bayesian theorem, classifier, smoothing, diagnosis of naive Bayes in R, and in general the diagnosis of a classifier. So as far as naive Bayes is going to be concerned, it gives up a probability classification and it is purely based on the Bayesian theorem. So we say when we toss a coin, so chances for head is 50%, chances for tail is also 50%. So we need to know the probability, and if I am repeating it for 10 times, now the scenario comes. Okay, this is only for one time. Now repeat it for 10 times. So now we will be getting the 10 values. So from that 10 values, we will start on working how to estimate or how to predict, how to classify it to a head or how to classify it to a tail. So from the Bayesian theorem, we have the Naive-Bayesian theorem. So that is the first principle. And second principle was the core concept of Bayesian probability. It is going to give a relationship between the probabilities of two events and their conditional probabilities. So there is two events, head and tail, and Bayesian theorem, it finds the relationship between A and B. So it will identify the relationship and it identifies some conditions. So some A greater than 5 and B greater than 5 or B less than 5. So in this way it is going to put some conditions, and once a condition is going to be mined, thereafter it will produce an answer. So the naive Bayes classifier, it is going to take up the Bayesian into it, that is the first concept, and assumes whether a feature is going to be present or absent, and that is where we will look into it. So whether the feature is going to be present or whether the class is going to be present, so we will see into that scenario and thereby we will move it up. So the first and foremost thing was it is going to contribute to uh, even the features, they are not going to be depend on each other, but still naive Bayes classifier will see that how independently the features are going to be associated with each other. So as far as naive Bayes concerned, it is going to see whether there is a presence or absence of a particular feature in a class is unrelated or whether it is going to be related. While doing this, it not only checks up the dependence, it is also checking up the existence of the independence features into that scenario. So what type of values this naive Bayes is going to work? So the naive Bayes, it is going to have some input variables. In general, they are going to be called as categorical, that is yes, no, pass, fail. So these are the examples for the categorical variable. But there are variations of the algorithms which they are going to accept continuous variables. When I am going to call it as continuous variables, then we are going to call it as real numbers or numeric data. So this was the um, the input of an Navier, yeah, it can support mostly will be the categorical, and now the later variants are now supporting the numeric values also. So there are techniques in nav-based algorithm which it is going to convert a categorical variable, a continuous variable into a categorical variable. And the methodology what we are going to call here will be the discrimination. So the methodology what we are going to illustrate to this will be the word called as a discrimination. So to do this such words, we have low income, working class, middle class, and upper class. So now I'm going to say income is less than $10,000. Then it is put to a division called as a low. Suppose if the income was between 50,000 to 1 lakh dollars, now it is going to be called as a middle class. Now we are going to have as a ordinal values because they are going to have an order: low, working, middle, upper. So in this way we have a propagation of an ordered value to discriminate the continuous values. So what will be the output of a nav base? So it will be including the class label, that is the first and foremost value. Second thing, it will display the probability score. First thing, it is going to display the class label: yes, no, pass, fail, low income, medium, middle class, upper class. It is going to give up the class label. Second thing, it is illustrating it with what was the score it is going to take up. Now, where are these Bayesian classifiers implemented, and how are they are going to be looked into? It was they can be implemented very simple, and the most important thing was why people are using, or why the Naive was more successful and efficient. The reason was without any prior knowledge of the data, Naive is going to work. So that is the thing. And there are some examples where the Naive is going to work with the spam filtering. And second thing, it is going to used in text mining, in text classification also, and especially to check whether the email is correct or not, whether the email is appropriate or not, whether the email is legitimate or so. There the Bayesian is going to work. And similarly, a transaction is fraud or not, you need to classify it. So in classifying it also, so these are some of the applications where Naive is looking. So one, it can be a spam; two, it can be some email filtering; and three, it can be some fraud detection; and fourth, it can be helpful towards the text filtering also. Fine. So in such a case, now the first and foremost thing before we look into the Naive will be the words called as a Bayesian theorem. So as far as Bayesian theorem is going to concern, it looks up with a conditional probability. So what was the conditional probability was that it is going to take up an event C, and given an event A has already occurred. So I can say I got my CGPA, I got my GPA, and now if my GPA is this much for a semester, what will be my GPA, my CGPA for the overall content? So if such values we are going to understand, then we can say the conditional probability is going to act. So my first sem GPA is some 8.5. My second sem GPA is some 9, and my third sem GPA is going to be some 9.25. Now I will say this is event A, event B, and event C. Now I can have my the cumulative grade point averages, etc. We call it as CGPAs. And now CGPA, it is going to be a factor of Y, isn't it? So CGPA is a event which occurs after A comma B comma C. So CGPA, that is nothing but Y, which it is going to occur uh, after an event A comma B comma C has been done. So when is CGPA done? It is based on condition 8.0, condition 9, condition 9.20. That is A, B, and C. If all these three things are happen, then only the CGPA is going to be computed. So now coming to the word called as a conditional probability, I look into an event C to be occurred, but if C has to occur, A has already occurred. So that it is going to be determined. So the probability what we are going to give it will be the chances of C by A. So now how we are going to formulate this was, we are going to write the probability of C by A, that is C will happen if A is going to happen, will be with the occurrence of both the A and C divided by the occurrence of A. So if we are going to mold up this in a form, we call it as a Bayesian form. But Bayesian form now there is now representing in a algebraic format for the conditional probability, and the final value of Bayesian now it is improved to the probability of condition C by A will be, because we are separating both, right? There is nothing much ambiguity, so that will be two independent values, that is probability of A by C into probability of C divided by probability of A. So we just made a value from by using an algebra to P of A by C into P of C. So we just bifurcated the values because to give independence, in order to give independence event, we are now dividing it or we are bifurcating it, nothing more than that. So now what we are going to say, C is going to be the class labels. C is going to be called as a class labels. So class labels in sense, it can be yes, it can be no, it can be pass, it can be fail. So all these elements we are going to call it as class labels, C1, C2, etc. up to Cn. And the attributes what we are going to take it up. So I can say result. What is result? Result is equals to pass or fail. So now uh, attribute is going to be called as A, and pass and fail we will call it as C1, C2, we will call it as classes. So that is the distinction you should understand. So holistically what is Bayesian theorem is, probability of an event C will happen when A is going to happen is equals to some probability of A by C into probability of C divided by probability of A. So this is the final value what we are going to look it with a Bayesian. Of course, you can also work with the same value. So either a equation is fine when we are working with a Bayesian values. So now Bayesian value, it is going to give the relationship between probabilities of C and A. What is C? C is called as classes. What is A? A is called as attributes. So we say probability of C. P of C we call it as probability of C. P of A we call it as probability of A. And now comes the conditional probability, which we are going to name it as probability of occurrence of C if A, or probability of occurrence of A if C. So in this way we look up the events because of their interdependenciness, or in order to have a relationship between two elements. Fine. Now let us take one simple example to solve up the Bayesian theorem and to compute some values at this point of time. So now we are going to assume that we are going to compute the probability of the patient of the patient who is going to carry a disease. So on the lab test here, we are going to assume patient name is Mary and she has took a lab report for certain disease and the result came as positive. Okay, so let us compute whether the patient is going to have a probability of a disease or not. So we want to understand whether the patient is going to have a disease or not. So even if the lab reports are done, we can't exactly say that the person is having a disease. So let us check with this scenario. So here we are, the patient, it is the name of the patient is Mary, and for her the lab report for the disease called was positive. And regarding the mission performance, regarding the lab report performance was, what we are going to tell was the lab report was always correct in 95 cases, and it is going to say the disease was actually present. And similarly, it is going to return a positive cases in 6% of the cases where disease was not present. Okay, so the thing was the mission is working well. 95% of the chances for the mission to say if the result is positive, to say it is positive, it is going to be 95%. But to say that the positive result is not present, so the result is positive, but due to some reasons etc in the machine or whatever computation problem it is, now there are some misclassification, and that misclassification, it is not present, it is going to give a positive result, and the chances were only 6%. And second thing, in the global population, only 1% of the people are going to have the disease. So if there is a population of a country is 100%, in 100% population, the disease is attacked only to 1% of the population. To, to only 1% of the population. So now let us see this scenarios here. So C is equals to some having the disease. A is equals to they are going to have the testing positive. So let us say the class we are assigning C, it is going to say that the disease is taken up. Next one, the disease is tested as positive. We are going to give up, that is A. Now the goal is to find the probability of having the disease that Mary is going to have a positive result. So that is P of C by A. So we call here as P of C by A. So what is the entire population? We are going to have only 1%, right? So that is what we are going to give 0.01. And to whom the disease is not there, so 99% of the population the disease is not there. Okay, you told that 1% of population, 1% of population is having disease. So what it mean? What it mean? It is meaning that 0.01% has disease, and its complement, right? The negation, that is 0.99% not having disease, not having the disease. So you are mentioning in this model. So now, second thing, let us talk about the test report. Let us talk about the test report. So in this test report, what we are going to tell was the occurrence of A by C. So how much is the occurrence? We are going to get 95% occurrence, and this 95 occurrence, we are going to give the value as 0.95. So the people who are going to get positive, the test report is also telling the people are going to get positive. Therefore, that occurrence, it is going to be 0.95. So the people who are going to say that they don't have a disease, but still for them positive results are going to come. So how many percent or how much percent it is going to be there means it is going to be 6%. So these are the values which are going to be available with us. Now let us adopt this Bayesian theorem by using the definition of a Bayesian theorem, that is the probability of C by A is will be the probability of A by C into probability of C divided by probability of A. So the probability of testing the value of P by A need to be computed first. So how we are going to compute this P by P of A? So P of A will be the combination of the two items, that is the value what we are going to call here, that is testing positive and having the disease, isn't it? So C we are going to call it as having disease, and A we are going to say it is testing positive. So one we are going to call it as a C, this is C, and testing positive we are going to call it as A. Now we need to compute probability of A. How we are going to compute? We compute this with A intersection B plus A intersection negation of C. So now we are going to solve these illustrations to the next step. So how we can write A intersection C, that is probability of C into probability of the event occurrence of A when C is going to happen, and similarly the probability of event C not happening into the probability of A not happening with C. So now we know the values, that is 0.1, we know the values 0.95, 0.99 and 0.06. So obviously we are going to get the value of P by A, that is 0.0689. We got this value. The next thing was we are going to work with the Bayesian probability to estimate for the patient called as Mary. So this is the question, isn't it? What is the probability of Mary actually getting the disease? Now this is the answer what we have to solve. So how we are going to solve means we are going to tell the probability of the event C, that is Mary, will occur for the entire population or with the attributes. We are going to call it as C by A. So we are going to write up this companies, write up this conditions. So probability of A by C into probability of C divided by probability of A. So we get the values, and finally we are going to get the value of 0.1379. So 0.1379 now convert to percentages implies we will get 30.79. So what is the answer? We can say that was it means that Mary is going to actually have a disease with the positive test result only with 13.79%, and results indicate that the lab test may not be good. So the likelihood of the disease is not present for that person. So in this way, we are going to compute the probability. So what is this answer telling? So 13.79, the answer was telling that there is a problem in the lab report. So because 95% it is going to classify correctly, but 6% it is misclassifying correctly. Now we need to see whether Mary was in 95% or whether Mary was in 6%. So to distinguish that, we computed the Bayesian theorem. Then we have taken a sample of Mary, and thereby we evented if the C's first event is going to occur, what will happen to the next event. So obviously we got the probability of 13.79%. So 13.79%, obviously only 6% is true. So obviously it is 13.79. So the results, it indicates that the test may not be good. So that is the likelihood of the probability. So there are some generalized way of representing the Bayesian theorem. So we have the attributes, and we have the attributes with the small a to small am, and we have the probability which it is going to be called as p, and we have c as a classes. So mathematically we can write a generalized equation for multiple attributes. So earlier what was the definition was we are doing it only for one or two attributes, but if we are going to do with multiple attributes, I have attribute 1 to attribute 2, I have to repeat this process not for a single attribute, I have to repeat the process for the multiple attributes. So we are going to say probability of condition I by A is equals to some probability of A1, A2 to up to AM by C into probability of C divided by probability of A1 to AM with the values of 1 to n. So this is how we are going to use a generalized format for the Bayesian classification. Fine. Up to now we have talked only about the Bayesian classification. Now let us look at the word called here as a naive classifier. So looking into the word called as a naive classifier, now we need to see the conditional independence, whether each attribute is conditionally independent to each other attribute. So we need to look the independence amongst the conditional events. So attribute independence among the conditional event we need to look. So what we are going to assume here was we can call A1, A2, they are going to be called as attributes. P we are going to call it as probability. C we are going to call it as class, or we are going to call it as labels. Now how we are defining the naive Bayes was we have the probability of A1 to AM for a class CI will be, now I do it independent. Now I am going to do it independent. 1, 2, n. So these are all different events, and then I'm going to move to the pi of 1 to m for all the independent items. So calculate the events independently. Calculate the events independently. So we will be getting this naive Bayes classification. So how we are going to do will be with the probability of different events, and which it is going to be the product of the first event with the actual class. So towards the class, how much contribution this independent variable is going to give. So we are going to say it is belongs to or proportional to. So we will say that the independent event will belongs to this or proportional to the class. It will be some pi of 1 to m to a significant event, that is a of I divided by the class I for all the attributes we are going to take up. So this is directly proportional to the right hand side. So this is left hand side, which it is directly proportional to the right hand side. So in this way we are going to derive the naive Bayes classification. So in naive Bayes classification, we independently look for each and every attribute how much factor it is going to support to generate the class label we are going to look. So the first and foremost requirement will be the collection of the probability with the class values. We will call it as probability of class I, and for attribute we are going to call it as AJ, and class label we are going to call it as CI, and we are going to say this is probability of AJ by probability of CJ. So now we are applying it to the training set, and as mentioned, job, marital status, education, default, housing loan, housing, loan, contact, outcome. These are all input variables, and these input variables we will call it as A1 to AJ, and they are belonging to a class. So class is equals to subscribed with two values, yes or no. We will call it as CJ. Okay, so what we can do is job by subscribed. Then I can call marital by subscribed. Then I can call education by subscribed. Got it? So what we are talking in mathematical form, now we are putting it to a database. It will give you more understanding. So the theoretical foundation was a little bit fishy to understand, but still when we put it to an example, you will have the notations to it. So we are going to say probability of CI, so class label, that is subscribed. And similarly, I am going to say the probability of AJ. It can be education, it can be job, it can be medical, it can be marital status. So all these elements we are going to call it as an input variable. They are affecting the subscribed output, that is the output variable. Again, to which class it is going to affect. So now I can say education by subscription is equals to yes, one set of entry. Education divided by subscription is equals to no, that is another set of entry. So we need to compute an independent probability. We need to compute an independent probability here, that is, and similarly again we need to compute the independent probability to the another label also. So that is, we have to compute for yes, and similarly we have to compute for no. So until unless we are going not computing an independent variable to the subscription independently, we cannot take the work forward. So that is how we work with a nav-based classifier. So let us see, here is an example for the training set content. So in this training set content, we are now working with a nav-based classifier. So nav-based classifier, now we are going to work with a generic value equation, that is probability of class CI will be from the pi j is equals to 1 to j is equals to some 1 to values. So